Hello and welcome to some more Dominion action. This time we have the Dominion Online Championship 2018 hosted by Shuffle It. This is the tournament that has the money prizes in it. Shuffle It is the company responsible for making this lovely online client that we use to play Dominion all the time. It's a single elimination tournament and there will be a maximum of 8 rounds. I believe 254 people signed up. Hopefully my math is correct there. And we have our round 1 opponent, Baron Fraser, who agreed to play with us on rather short notice. So whoever gets to 3.5 first, or at least 3.5 first wins. We play 6 games. If we're tied, we play a 7th and then see how things go from there. Enough about the tournament. At the board here, it took me a while to figure out what to do here. I wasn't entirely certain. I didn't see villages, anything very obvious to me. I haven't played in a while, so it might seem obvious to you what there is to do here, but it wasn't immediately obvious to me. And in fact, I made my first buy not seeing what there is here. I was thinking to play something like with Swamp Hag and money, maybe get a catapult to trash down a little bit. My opponent here opens with a silver and a death card, which is not something you see very often, but he has the death card here. And initially I thought there was some trick with Changeling, but there isn't. I don't think there is. So he has the death card and his ruins, of course. So I go with the catapult and the silver, and here's where I see, oh, Artificer and Menagerie work well together. I should build something with that. So then I decided to shape my thoughts and my plan with those two cards in mind. And here my opponent has 8 right away. He found the death card with one of his ruins and had the silver as well. And he's going to make me think very early in the piece here by taking a province and making me bid first on the mountain pass. So what do I do here? Well, some thoughts going through my mind was that, okay, there are only so many points on the board, all the provinces and these mountain pass points, so I don't want to make it terribly easy for him to get. He has a death card in his deck, which means I should probably bid a little bit higher than usual, but I don't want to bid so high that if he passes it to me, I'm locked out of the game for like 4, 5, 6 turns. So in the end, I decided with 13, I don't know if that's right or even close to right. Maybe I should just give him the points and move along. But I did want him to take some debt to try to slow him down a little bit. He seems to be going for a more money style strategy. So he gives me the 13 debt and the 8 VP. I'm not unhappy about it, but it does take me a bit longer than I expected to clear the debt. So I had $6 there, and I'm going to spend the next 2 turns just clearing off the debt. Apologies for that noise. So there's not much I can do here. I'm very happy I have the catapult before taking the debt. At least I can trash a little bit. My opponent here goes for another silver and then he's Swamp Hag. So Swamp Hag is something I have to deal with. I think I can deal with it rather well given that I have the catapult, and he isn't going to be playing it that often for me to be taking curses continuously or regularly. So I'm not worried about it, but it does kind of, again, tip his hand to what kind of strategy he's going for. He's bought a Death Cart and a Swamp Hag so far, so I expect he's just looking to get money fast and buy the provinces fast. He buys a Stonemason there, probably for trashing, which is, again, an uncommon thing to see. And I do go for a Swamp Hog there. I consider the Artificer, but I decided to try to slow him down a little bit by going after the Swamp Hog, making him take curses when he buys things. And also, an additional point with the Swamp Hog is that if I get it in play, I'll get 3 coins the next turn, and then maybe I can make some kind of Stonemason play. Meaning I'll buy it and overpay by 3 maybe to get Menageries, or 5 to get Artificers. That is really what I'm looking at. I attack him here. I didn't have to. I could have not attacked him, but I was kind of keeping track of his money, and hopefully I hit a hand that had more money in it. It didn't matter because he still buys a second province, so a little bit scary there. Like I said, they're only the points from the provinces as well as the mountain pass points. So here I get to 6, and I'm going to take a couple Menageries. Having the shelters in the deck does help with the Menagerie. but I did trash a couple of them, so I should really look to trash up a few more coppers to get the Menagerie to trigger. A Stonemason comes out here for my opponent. He's just going to trash a copper and pick up a Druid. The Druid is fine. Like, I considered playing money because Druid has one of those boons on it that gains you silver. So I was thinking maybe something with Druid to gain you silver and then Swamp Hog occasionally at the beginning of the game. I'm very happy I realized that Artificer and Menagerie was a thing. Not too late, right? I should see that before I play my treasures or take my turn one or whatever, but I didn't. Luckily, the silver wasn't horrible. The catapult was good for that. And my Swamp Hog prevents him from buying something there. Guess he didn't think it was worth the curse. He plays his Swamp Hog, but I'm going to go through that embargo and still go for 2 Artificers. And it worked out as I wanted it to there, right? I dropped the Swamp Hog and was able to gain 2 Artificers. So a 3rd province for my opponent with the Swamp Hog money. Looking a little bit scary. I do have to be a bit careful, right? With this Druid, he could gain silvers. He has the Swamp Hog. That's a burst of money. I think he still has the Death card floating around somewhere, which is 5 coin, right? So it'll be difficult for me to catch up if he gets half the provinces, is what I'm saying. So I do have to be a little bit quick in what I'm doing here. This Menagerie does not trigger, but that's okay for now. I get 6 again. I considered a Stonemason play here. I've done it twice already, but I decided just to pick up the single Artificer instead. I can use the Artificers to gain the Menagerie like I'm going to do here. And this is where things start to work very, very nicely for me. So I'm going to use the Artificer, get rid of these 3 treasures. I hope that I would draw into my other terminals, namely the Catapult and the Swamp Hog. So that's why I kept the Necropolis, and turns out I will be able to see both of them. Hooray! And this is the lock I'm trying to establish here now, right? I'm trying to make him discard with Catapult. That's really going to hurt a money player, having, less than your usual hand size. And I'm going to put a Swamp Hog in play every turn from now on. So here's my first one, and I'll gain another one from the Artificer's next turn and put that into play, so he's locked entirely. He has to take curses every single time he buys something. Speaking of buys, he gets another province. So that's half the provinces for him, or her. I assume Baron Fraser is a boy. So again, like I said, we have to be careful here, not to do anything too rash. Try to limit what my opponent can do as much as possible. By this point, I think he's trashed his Death card. I think he did that to get the 4th province. So he doesn't have that in the deck, which I'm aware of. But now I have the full lock. Swamp Hog can play every turn, and I'm going to attack him with the Catapult, trashing my lingering coppers to make him discard. Discard attack is going to hurt, and obviously the curses are very nice, lowering his score and clogging up his deck a bit more. He does take a Death card here, but he's going to take a little while before he sees that Death card. And the game sort of plays itself from here, right? I'm executing the same idea every single turn here. I'm attacking with Catapult, attacking with Swamp Hog, using my Artificer to gain Menagerie, sometimes top decking the Menagerie. Probably trying to top deck the Menagerie just for safety, just for security. I don't want to start off badly here. See there, the Artificer getting rid of the problem that Menagerie has, the duplicates thing, right? So, like here, yep, going to get rid of these Stonemasons and the province, top deck a Menagerie for next turn, and we are looking good here. We have enough money with the Swamp Hogs and the silver and the Artificers and whatnot. He's gonna buy another Death card here, but I know, like, I'm virtually 100% certain on a 3-card hand with the deck that he has on this shuffle, he cannot buy a province. He doesn't have any gold. He doesn't have his Death card. I know that's gone. So I am gonna break the so-called penultimate province rule here and just buy the second to last province. There's a trick too. I didn't see this entirely with gaining stuff with Artificer and Changeling. You could gain anything costing up to 3, bounce it back in a Changeling. I decided to do it here just to try it. It was whatever. It could have easily been a Menagerie. 9, like I said, just check in to make sure he can't surprise me with a province win here. And I used the changeling to gain an Artificer. Nothing spectacular to talk about there. So, as you can tell, probably from the state of his deck, he's not going to buy a province here, and my deck is reliable, consistent. I'm going to get in the last province and take game 1. So a nice game 1 here. Very classic example of, engine style beating money style kind of thing here. The attacks obviously very, very helpful to slow things down and give me enough time to set up my nice little artificer thing here. Alright, so that was game 1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next